Hello and welcome to this OpenEye video FAQ. Today we will be discussing building and utilizing alerts for access events. There's lots of good information to cover, so let's get started. Access events are an important part of the suite of events that OpenEye can provide alerts for. Card, door, and keypad access are all a part of the source events. The alerts for said events can then be sent to email, mobile push, command station, central stations, and can be sent to the Cloud API for integration into your custom application. Just as important is the ability to then sort those access events by specific device, user, or badge number, allowing you to track or trace a user and those around them. Building the alert rule is easy. Select Alerts and Alert Rules as shown here. Then select Add New Rule. Next, select the alert type. In this case, select Door Access as the alert type and then select Next as shown here. The Alert Rules wizard will guide you through setting up the alert. First, provide a name and description for the rule. Then select the integration type as shown here. Once complete, select Create to continue. With the report named and the integration defined, the next step is to define the rule. Start by selecting an event group as shown here. Let's take a look at the various event groups and the event types within those groups. The first choice of event groups is Access Denied. This event group has a lot of individual events to choose from. You can include all reasons, or you can be specific with the reasons you wish to be alerted to. Rules can be stacked easily to include or exclude exactly what you want. The next event group is Access Granted. There is only one event in this group. Using Access Granted in conjunction with filters for specific users allows you to quickly track a person's movements. A good use case here is if you wanted to trace or track whom a specific user has come into contact with, you can use the access points to track their movements and their interactions. The final event group is Door Status. This is an easy way to track the door being opened or also to track for the door being opened for a certain period of time. This is a way to track if a door is being propped open or if it simply didn't close properly after a predetermined amount of time. You can choose to include all users in the access alerts, or you can granularly define those users included in the rule. Choose the Select Specific Cardholders radio button and select Add Users as shown. Choose the cardholders from the list using the plus buttons, and then choose Select when finished. Just like specific cardholders, you can choose to include all readers in the access alerts, or you can granularly define those readers included in the rule. Choose Select Specific Readers radio button and select Add Reader as shown. Choose the readers from the list using the plus buttons, and then choose Select when finished. Next, define the time parameters. Use the plus signs to add multiple layers of timing if desired. One of the more flexible features in defining the alert rule is the ability to associate the alert to the status of the intrusion panel. As shown here, you can see that you can select from armed, disarmed, or both. The use case here is very simple. Perhaps you have a camera with motion detection alerting on a certain area of your location after operating hours. You can associate the alert rule to the status of the panel so that you only get the alert when the panel is armed. That way, if you visit the office after hours or on a weekend and disarm the panel, you won't get alerts while you walk through areas covered under the motion detection alert. When you leave and rearm the panel, you will begin to get the alerts again. You can also set the alert as active, as shown here. Active alerts include the phrase active when the email or mobile push is sent, allowing for easier filtering. Also, active alerts can be easily accessed with OWS on their own dedicated dashboard. These alerts typically are the most important and require immediate action. And finally, select Save when the rule definition is complete. We will discuss adding users and user groups to the alert rule next. Select Users and Notifications from the menu on the left as shown. You can then add individual users or user groups to the alert and define how the alert is to be received as shown here. Next, select General Info from the menu on the left. You can then change the name or description of the alert. You can also delete the alert or disable the alert. Another nice feature to mention is you can use the Clear Active Alerts button to clear out any recent active alerts from the Active Alerts section of OWS. Use the filtering capabilities in the alert history to allow yourself to very quickly identify a specific access alert and specify a cardholder associated with the alert for a very granular query into the access data. The alert itself allows you to play the video, acknowledge and comment on the event, and ultimately share the clip with others if desired. Let's build an alert rule and then use Alert History to view the activity in OWS as a live portion to the presentation. Okay, so I've gone ahead, I've signed into OWS, selected my customer, all right? I've then gone to Alerts and Alert Rules, all right? And that's where we are now. This is a listing of our current alert rules, and together we're going to build a new door access alert. We're going to set that up and go through how to do it, and then we're going to go into Alert History, all right? And we're going to look at some of those returns on those alerts, and we're going to sort by cardholder and show the power of that as well, okay? So let's start off by selecting Add New Rule, all right? And then we're going to go and select the alert type, which in this case will be door access, okay? And then we're going to click Next. We need to give this a title. So maybe we're going to call this Test Access Alert, okay? And then we'll call this Access Alert for Video FAQ. And the integration type, we'll choose DMP for today, all right? And we're going to say Create. All right, now we've come up, we've created basically the title and the description, and again, define the integration. All right, now we're going to set up the rules. So earlier we talked about the different event groups, right? We had the access denied, which gave all kinds of different choices. We had the access granted, okay? And we also had the door status, all right? So what we're going to do is a simple access granted, okay? And we're going to set up our event type as granted. Now, if we wanted to set up this alert in such a way that we were alerted when access was granted, but maybe denied for a certain reason, you can stack multiple conditionals here. So if we hit the plus button, we could say, also access denied if it's an invalid code. So we could stack this and make this any way we wanted it. All right, just wanted to point that out. I'm going to go ahead and delete the access denied. All right, so we've set this up for when access is granted, we'd like to get the alert. Now, the next thing that we have to define here is the users. Currently, it's going to include all cardholders. Fantastic. That may be exactly what I want. If I want to only hone in on specific users, all right, perhaps the people that come in to the manufacturing side of the building early in the morning and I want to just do them, or there's 3 or 4 specific people I want to track, then all I have to do is go to the specific cardholders, add the users, okay, and then I can go through here and add these users in, all right. I'm going to leave this right now for all cardholders. The next section to look at would include the readers. All right, so we can see here, we can include all readers, okay, or we can select specific readers, just like the users, okay? So if we want to do specific readers, we can simply go pull them off the list and say select. So now we've added in those specific readers, okay? Those are in there. If we scroll down, the next piece is the timing sequences. So right now, this is set to work from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. In other words, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, perhaps that's how I would like it to be on weekends, right? But maybe I want to add in something else that says only from 7 p.m., okay, until maybe 5 a.m., okay, on our weekdays, all right? Maybe that's our closed hours, all right? So we can set that up. You can stack multiple timing sequences. Very simple there as well, all right? Something else to discuss is any alert can be tied to the state of the intrusion panel, all right? So here's what I mean by that. If this were a motion alert, okay, and we said, give us all the motion from a certain camera, always on weekends and after hours on weekdays, all right? If I show up to the office to do work on a Saturday, okay, and I'm walking around the office, I'm going to get lots of alerts as that particular camera picks up motion, all right? However, what I can do is I can tie the alert to the status of the panel. So I could say, only send me this alert if the panel is armed, okay? So how that would work would be, if I came in on a Saturday and I disarmed the panel, which I would have to do, then that alert wouldn't flow. As soon as I left and I rearmed the panel, the alert would flow. So that's a very strong piece to the integrated access control. And when you have an intrusion panel also tied in, you can tie the alerts to the state of the panel. Very straightforward, but very strong. All right. For our current example here, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that timing sequence. We're going to go back to just 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, regardless of the state of the panel. I want to know when those particular readers are going to give an access granted. All right. Now, let's continue down here. The next thing is the active alerts, all right? And we discussed that briefly during the PowerPoint part of the presentation. This is where you can set these alerts up as active. What that means is when you get a mobile push alert or you get an email alert, it's going to say active. Makes it easier to filter. This is meant for your most important type of alerts, okay? So these may be your alarms after hours. This may be somebody, forcing a door open. Things of that nature that you may want to take care of, you can make as your active alerts. Health alerts, things like that are active. They get their own little dashboard where you can work on them, and they come in again a little more important up the chain. This particular alert I would not deem as an active alert. It's just a regular alert. The other choices here is that any of these alerts can be sent to third-party central stations. Okay, so if you're also using outside central stations, these alerts can be pushed to those as well. So there's a lot of flexibility here. So once we've set up our rules, okay, that's our types, we've defined our card holders, we've defined the actual readers involved, the timing, how we're going to tie it or not tie it to the panel, again, then selecting active or not, and do we want to push this to a third party, we can go ahead and say save, all right? And at that point, the alert rule has been saved, and we've set up our definition. Now, the next thing we want to do over here on the left is jump over to users and notifications. Okay, it'll remind us to save our changes. All right. Now we can go ahead and define the people that we want to receive this alert. All right, I built it. I'm in here. Okay, I can get this as an email. I can get this as a push. I can even have this sent to command station if I'm logged in there. All right. If I want to add other users, I can pull them from here and add my users. If I wish to add user groups, okay, perhaps I want to have the marketing group receive this. All right. I can actually add them to it, and maybe they need to get an email alert. Very simple to do. All right. We're going to add our users, and then all you do is define how the alert is to be received. It's very straightforward. And then finally, if we go to the general info part on their menus, okay, we'll see the name that we gave the report. We'll see the description we gave to the alert, okay? We can go ahead and delete this. We can disable it. And if we had made this an active alert, you actually can clear the active alerts, okay, from the active alert page. Or if you're testing, etc., you can go ahead and clear those out. So very nice piece of functionality. Once you've built your alert and you've gone through, work your way back up. Okay, take one last look at the users, take one last look at the rule definition, and that alert is now finished. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead and now we want to go and look in alert history, which is where these alerts would land. Okay, outside of being a push or an email alert, they're all collected within alert history. So I want to go in there next, All right, and I want to take a look at how we can then filter down to just those door access alerts and ultimately filter down to the individual cardholder level and talk about some use cases within there as well. So what I want to do next is I want to say alerts and I want to say alert history. Okay, so up comes all of our alert history and that's going to populate. All right. So what we want to do now, we can see we have all kinds of different motions detected, line crossing, many events. We want to go ahead and get down to just the events we're interested in, which happen to be the door access, and down to certain access user levels as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go in here to show filters, all right, and we're going to go into our filtering. All right, now from our filtering, we can filter in a date range by recorder, IDs, etc. It's very straightforward. We can also now go to alert types. So I would like to go to only door access alerts. All right, and what I'm going to do then is I'm going to say apply. All right, that's going to take this big list and bring me just down to a lot of access granted. Okay, so what I can do here is I can hover over these, okay, and I can see the little snapshots associated with it. Okay, and I can see people coming in and out, all right, and I can see, again, these people have their masks on, and at times we live, you have to. All right, so we can see all of that. It's very easy to take a look at those. We can go into any of those specific clips as well. Now, if I want to find a specific user, okay, and only look at them, let's say that we would like to see a specific user where they have accessed and gone into the building or gone into areas of the building because we'd like to know maybe who they've come into contact with, okay? And again, in this day and age, we may want to talk about who else did this person have contact with today, okay? Because we have reason to want to know that information. So we could come in here and we can come in and we can put in a name, okay? And we can go ahead and pull that up and then apply that. So now we've gone ahead and we've pulled up just that person's movements through the building, okay? So we can see in various things, there's that person, all right? If I go into view, first thing I can see is, okay, masks is on, that's great, okay? I can acknowledge this, okay? I can actually change the state of this. I can acknowledge that I've seen this, okay? And then I can say, mask on. That was good. I can save that. That's going to go ahead and associate now with that clip. All right. If I want to play that, I can go ahead and I can play this clip. It's not a problem to do. Okay. It's going to bring me right into my playback screen in the recorded video. So I can then go ahead and play this video. All right. And then from there, if I want to go ahead and see, there's no contact here, but if there was, and I then wanted to share that with others, I can go ahead and export that video. Okay. And just send that right up to the cloud. And then from there, I can share that with others. And that's really what you want to do in this type of scenario is use the data, okay, to be able to do those kinds of things. Okay, so what I want to do next is I'll go back to our previous screen and we'll go back to our alerts. All right, so I can go in and out of that. I can then set that up. And then from there, if I needed to, I could come here to video and video clips and then go find that clip and then share it with others, okay? So if you want to think about a tracking or tracing usage here, I've got somebody, I want to know who they maybe came into contact with throughout the building. Hard to track them throughout the day, but if I look at all the areas that they use their card access to get in and out of, it's going to give me a pretty good idea, at least, of a lot of the people they came into contact with during that day. All right, so that's a good use case. Another use case is I just want to make sure that somebody is opening my building on time every day. All right, well, I know that I have somebody coming in. They have to use their card access to get in. And as long as I'm seeing those times, we open at 9, I see the card access at 8:45. Somebody was there to open on time. If I see that the first card access of the day was at 9:15, then my place was open late today. All right, it's a very easy way to leverage this information. Okay, we can put all of this into graph form as well and give some analytics behind it as well. So there's a lot of ways to tie all of this together. But again, at the end of the day, we're building these alerts. There's a lot of power to it. We can break it down to, again, the card holder, okay, or a group of card holders. We can look at the individual devices or groups of devices, etc. So we can make this very granular or a very wide search. At the end of the day, the applications are very wide. There's many things that you can do with this to bring yourself actionable intelligence within your environment. This concludes today's video FAQ. If you have any questions, please visit openeye.net or email training@openeye.net. Join us again for more interesting videos from OpenEye, the cloud video platform.